Imagine opening your business at 9 a.m. and having all your content ideas researched, your social posts written, your ads created, and your customer responses drafted automatically. This isn't future technology. It's happening now for entrepreneurs who understand AI systems. I'm going to walk you through exactly how to build these systems for your business, breaking down the specific tools, prompts, and workflows that are allowing small teams to outperform entire departments. The difference between success and struggle isn't just working harder, it's building smarter systems. The systems approach to AI entrepreneurship. What if the difference between successful entrepreneurs and struggling ones isn't talent, but systems? I've spent years studying businesses that thrive and those that struggle, and I've noticed a pattern. The entrepreneurs who build effective systems consistently outperform those who rely solely on hard work and talent. This insight becomes even more critical in today's AI-powered business landscape. Traditional entrepreneurship follows a familiar pattern. You start a business, work incredibly hard, doing everything yourself, and then gradually hire employees to take over specific functions as you grow. This approach made sense in the pre-AI world. You'd hire a marketing person, then a salesperson, maybe a customer service representative, and eventually build departments for each business function. Growth came directly from adding more people to your team. This model worked for decades, but it's rapidly becoming obsolete. Why? Because manual approaches simply can't compete with AI-powered systems in today's business environment. When you're manually creating content, responding to customers, or analyzing market data, you're already falling behind competitors who have automated these processes with AI. The gap between AI-powered businesses and traditional ones grows wider every day. To understand how AI changes entrepreneurship, we need to embrace systems thinking. This approach allows entrepreneurs to see their business not as a collection of separate tasks, but as interconnected workflows. Each business function, marketing, sales, customer service, product development, connects to the others, creating a complete system. When you optimize one part, it affects the whole. This systems perspective is crucial for effective AI implementation. Too many entrepreneurs make the mistake of treating AI tools as isolated solutions, a chatbot here, a content generator there. But the real power emerges when you integrate these tools into your entire business workflow. Each AI component should connect with others, creating a coherent system rather than a collection of disconnected technologies. Let me introduce you to what I call the AI-powered entrepreneurial system. This isn't just about using a few AI tools. It's an entirely new business model. In this model, AI tools handle significant portions of your marketing, sales, content creation, customer service, and even product development. They work together, sharing data and insights, creating a business that's fundamentally different from traditional companies. These systems process information and execute tasks at speeds impossible for human teams. They analyze data, generate content, optimize advertisements, and engage with customers 24 hours a day without breaks, vacations, or sick days. They continuously improve, from feedback getting more effective over time. This represents a significant shift in how businesses operate and compete. Consider the growth trajectories of traditional versus AI-powered businesses. Traditional hiring creates linear growth. Your business grows in proportion to the number of people you employ. Hire 10 people, and you might handle 10 times the work. But AI systems enable exponential growth. As you refine your AI workflows, one person can accomplish the work that previously required 5, 10, or even 50 employees. The constraints of human capacity and management complexity disappear. What makes this approach so powerful is that AI systems scale almost instantly. Once you've built an effective content creation system, for example, it costs virtually the same to create 10 pieces of content or 100. The marginal cost approaches zero. Compare this to hiring more content creators, where each new hire adds significant cost and management complexity. Think about what this means for small businesses and solopreneurs. Historically, competing with larger companies required building a comparable team. A solo consultant couldn't match the output of a 20-person agency. But AI systems change this equation fundamentally. With well-designed AI workflows, individual entrepreneurs can now produce work comparable to much larger teams. The playing field is leveling in ways we've never seen before. Let me be clear, this isn't about replacing human creativity or strategic thinking. It's about automating repetitive tasks and augmenting human capabilities. The entrepreneurs who succeed with AI aren't eliminating the human element. They're focusing it where it creates the most value. Strategy, creativity, relationship building, and emotional intelligence remain human domains, while data processing, content generation, and repetitive tasks shift to AI systems. The components of these AI systems might surprise you. They include large language models like GPT-4, image generators, video creation tools, data analysis platforms, and automation software. But the individual tools matter less than how you connect them. The magic happens in the workflows you create, how information moves between tools, how feedback improves outputs, and how you maintain quality throughout the process. The quality of results from these systems depends entirely on how well you design and implement them. Simply purchasing AI tools won't transform your business. You need to understand exactly how to structure prompts, workflows, and quality control mechanisms. You need to teach these tools how to produce the specific results your business requires. Mastering these details separates successful AI entrepreneurs from those who struggle to see results. Let me share something I've observed repeatedly. The entrepreneurs getting incredible outcomes from AI aren't necessarily technical experts. They're not programmers or AI researchers. They're business owners who have taken the time to understand these tools intimately. They've learned their capabilities and limitations. They've experimented with different approaches until finding what works. Most importantly, they've built systems rather than just adopting isolated tools. By building these systems, entrepreneurs are achieving remarkable results. I've seen solo entrepreneurs produce more high-quality content than entire marketing departments. I've watched small e-commerce businesses provide better customer service than major retailers. I've witnessed tiny product teams develop and launch products faster than companies with hundreds of employees. These outcomes aren't theoretical. They're happening right now for businesses that have mastered AI systems. What makes this especially powerful is that these systems improve over time. As they process more data and receive more feedback, they become increasingly effective. The gap between AI-powered businesses and traditional ones doesn't stay constant. It widens. The businesses that adopt these systems early gain compound advantages that become increasingly difficult for competitors to overcome. In the sections that follow, I'll break down each component of an effective AI entrepreneurial system, starting with perhaps the most important decision: what to use as your first hire. Traditional business wisdom suggests hiring an employee, a marketing assistant perhaps, or a virtual assistant, but I'll show you why spending $200 a month on ChatGPT Pro might be substantially more valuable than hiring someone for $35,000 a year. This is where we begin building your AI system with the foundation of an AI assistant that can function across multiple business domains. From there, we'll expand into content creation, visual assets, customer service, and more, creating a complete system that transforms what you can accomplish as an entrepreneur. The entrepreneurs who master these systems will define the next generation of business success. They'll operate with lower costs, faster execution, and greater flexibility than their competitors. They'll adapt to market changes more quickly and scale more efficiently. Most importantly, they'll focus their human creativity and insight where it creates the most value, while delegating repetitive tasks to increasingly capable AI systems. Let's start by examining how AI tools like ChatGPT Pro can replace traditional first hires and why this approach gives new entrepreneurs a substantial advantage from day one. Why ChatGPT Pro is your new first hire. What would you rather have? One entry-level employee or access to the capabilities of hundreds? This question might sound like an unfair comparison, but it's exactly the choice entrepreneurs face today when deciding between traditional hiring and AI-powered alternatives. The traditional path of entrepreneurship follows a predictable pattern. You start your business, work until you're overwhelmed, then make your first hire. This milestone represents a significant investment financially and in management time. You spend weeks writing job descriptions, interviewing candidates, and training your new team member. Then comes the ongoing expense: salary, benefits, equipment, software licenses, and management overhead. This approach made sense in a world without advanced AI tools. But today there's a powerful alternative that costs less than 1% of an employee's salary while performing many of the same functions. At just $200 per month, ChatGPT Pro offers capabilities that would typically require multiple entry-level employees, and in some cases it can perform tasks that even experienced professionals would struggle to match. The financial comparison is striking. A typical entry-level employee costs at least $35,000 in annual salary, plus an additional 20-30% in benefits and payroll taxes. Add office space, equipment, software, and management time, and your total investment easily exceeds $50,000 per year. In contrast, ChatGPT Pro costs $2,400 annually, less than 5% of that amount. Even when you factor in the time needed to learn effective prompting techniques, the cost difference remains enormous. What makes this comparison even more compelling is the range of capabilities ChatGPT Pro offers. Unlike a single employee who specializes in one area, this AI tool can function across multiple business domains. Let me break down some specific capabilities that make it so valuable as an alternative to traditional first hires. First, ChatGPT Pro excels as a research assistant. It can analyze industry trends, compile competitor information, summarize academic papers, and identify relevant statistics, all in minutes rather than the hours or days a human researcher might require. While it doesn't have built-in internet access, you can feed it information to analyze or combine it with a tool like Bing Chat for real-time research capabilities. This functionality alone would typically require a dedicated market research analyst. I recently tested this capability by asking ChatGPT Pro to recreate the key findings from a $35,000 market research white paper. After providing some basic information about the industry and specific questions, it produced an analysis that captured approximately 80% of the insights from the original study in just 10 minutes of work. While not perfect, this level of performance for complex analytical tasks represents extraordinary value compared to traditional research methods. As a content creator, ChatGPT Pro can generate blog posts, social media content, email newsletters, product descriptions, and video scripts based on minimal input. You can specify tone, structure, and key points, then receive complete drafts ready for minor editing. Many entrepreneurs report that this function alone saves them 10-15 hours weekly, time previously spent staring at blank pages or struggling to find the right words. This capability would typically require a content marketing specialist or copywriter. The tool also functions as a strategic advisor, helping brainstorm business ideas, develop marketing strategies, create launch plans, and analyze potential opportunities. By presenting business scenarios and asking for analysis, you can receive thoughtful perspectives on complex decisions. This advisory function would normally require a business consultant or experienced strategist, roles that cost hundreds of dollars per hour. In customer service, ChatGPT Pro can draft responses to common customer inquiries, create templates for different scenarios, and even help develop entire customer service workflows. Many entrepreneurs use it to create comprehensive FAQ documents and response libraries that streamline their support processes. This function typically requires a dedicated customer service representative. As a product development assistant, the tool can help generate feature ideas, create user stories, draft product specifications, and even analyze potential user feedback. For software entrepreneurs, it can explain code, suggest improvements, and help solve programming challenges. These functions would normally require product managers or junior developers. One particularly valuable use is financial modeling and analysis. ChatGPT Pro can create financial projections, analyze business models, and help identify potential cost savings or revenue opportunities. It can explain complex financial concepts in simple terms and help entrepreneurs understand the financial implications of their decisions. This function would typically require a financial analyst or consultant. What makes these capabilities even more remarkable is that they're available 24/7, never get tired, never need vacation time, and improve steadily as the underlying models are updated. The tool doesn't have mood swings, personal conflicts, or productivity fluctuations. It performs consistently, day after day, scaling to your workload without complaint or burnout. Of course, ChatGPT Pro isn't perfect. It lacks human creativity, can't build genuine relationships with customers, and sometimes produces information that sounds correct but isn't. These limitations mean it works best as an augmentation tool rather than a complete replacement for human talent. The most effective entrepreneurs use it to handle routine tasks while focusing their attention on high-value activities that require uniquely human capabilities. The quality of results you get from ChatGPT Pro depends entirely on your ability to prompt it effectively. The difference between mediocre and exceptional outputs often comes down to how you structure your requests. Learning these prompting techniques isn't difficult, but it does require practice and experimentation. We'll explore specific prompting strategies later, but for now, understand that investing time in mastering this skill dramatically increases the tool's value to your business. As models improve and entrepreneurs become more skilled at prompting, the gap between AI-powered businesses and traditional ones will widen. The companies gaining the biggest advantages aren't just using these tools casually. They are systematically integrating them into their workflows, creating documented processes for different business functions, and continuously refining their approaches. The most successful entrepreneurs recognize that ChatGPT Pro isn't just a productivity tool. It's a fundamental business transformation opportunity. They're rethinking their entire operational models around these capabilities, asking, if I had dozens of intelligent assistants working around the clock, how would I structure my business differently? This perspective leads to entirely new ways of operating that weren't possible in the pre-AI era. Companies like Duolingo are already demonstrating the power of this approach. They've significantly reduced their reliance on external contractors by integrating AI into their operations, resulting in substantial cost savings while maintaining or improving output quality. This trend is accelerating across industries as more businesses recognize the competitive advantages of AI-powered systems. Shopify has taken an even more aggressive stance, requiring employees to learn AI tools and explicitly stating they'll downsize roles that can be automated. This signals an important shift in the business landscape. Adapting to AI isn't optional anymore, it's becoming essential for survival. Entrepreneurs who grasp this reality early will have significant advantages over those who cling to traditional approaches. For new entrepreneurs, the implications are clear. Starting with ChatGPT Pro instead of traditional hiring allows you to operate more efficiently from day one, preserving capital while simultaneously handling more business functions than would be possible with a single employee. Rather than being limited by human capacity, you can build AI-powered systems that scale with your business needs. This approach doesn't mean you'll never hire employees. Rather, it changes when and why you hire. Instead of bringing people on to handle routine tasks, you hire specifically for uniquely human capabilities, like relationship building, creative direction, and strategic leadership. Your human team focuses entirely on high-value activities, while your AI systems handle everything else. Now that we understand why ChatGPT Pro makes such a powerful foundation for your business, let's explore how to integrate it into a complete content creation system. This is where many entrepreneurs first experience the transformative potential of AI, turning hours of writing and research into minutes of prompting and editing. Building an AI-powered content creation system. How can you generate endless, engaging content ideas without spending hours brainstorming? For most creators, content production remains among the most time-consuming business activities. You know the routine: staring at a blank page, searching for inspiration, researching topics, writing drafts, and editing endlessly. This process eats away hours of your week, limiting how much you can produce and publish. Traditional content creation follows a predictable, labor-intensive workflow. First comes ideation, brainstorming topics your audience might care about. Then research, gathering facts, examples, and supporting information. Next, you outline your thoughts, write the first draft, edit it multiple times, format it properly, create supporting visuals, and finally publish. Each step demands significant time and mental energy. Even experienced creators often spend 4-8 hours producing a single high-quality piece of content. This manual approach worked fine when everyone followed the same process. But the content landscape has fundamentally changed. Creators using AI-powered systems now produce 5-10 times more content in the same time frame with comparable or even superior quality. While you labor over one article or video script, competitors using AI tools complete multiple projects, test more ideas, and capture more audience attention. The gap between manual creators and AI-powered ones widens every day. To compete effectively, you need a systematic approach to content creation that leverages AI at each stage of the workflow. Let me map out how this complete system works from initial idea generation through final publishing. The content creation process begins with ideation, finding topics your audience actually cares about. This step trips up many creators who waste time on content nobody wants. The most effective AI-powered approach uses a specific technique I call validated ideation that leverages platforms where your audience already gathers. Here's the exact process. Open ChatGPT Pro and use a prompt like this. I create content about your niche. Please analyze Reddit for trending discussions in this space. Focus on posts with at least 100 upvotes and 50 comments from the past month. For each trending topic, provide me with 1. The original question or discussion topic. 2. Key points from the most upvoted comments. 3. Any controversies or differing opinions. And 4. A potential content angle I could take that would provide value. This prompt turns ChatGPT Pro into a specialized research assistant that identifies proven content ideas, topics real people already showed interest in through their engagement. By specifying upvote and comment thresholds, you filter for ideas with demonstrated appeal. This approach saves hours of brainstorming while significantly improving your hit rate on content performance. You can modify this technique for different platforms. Replace Reddit with Quora, Twitter, YouTube comments, industry forums, or anywhere your specific audience gathers. The key principle remains the same. Find conversations already happening, then create content that adds value to those discussions. Once you've identified promising content ideas, the next step involves creating structural outlines. Rather than diving straight into writing, effective AI-powered creators use a two-step process. First, they prompt ChatGPT to generate a detailed outline based on the validated idea. An effective outline prompt might look like, create a detailed outline for a content type about topic. Include 1. An engaging hook that highlights why this matters to target audience. 2. 5 to 7 main sections with specific subpoints for each. 3. Data points or examples I should include. 4. Potential objections or counter-arguments to address. And 5. A compelling conclusion that inspires action. This structured approach ensures your content follows a logical flow with proper supporting elements. It also helps overcome the common problem of incomplete or surface-level AI-generated content by explicitly requesting depth and supporting evidence. With a solid outline in place, you can then request a complete draft. Rather than using vague prompts like, write an article about X, successful AI-powered creators provide specific guidance about voice, style, and format. A more effective draft prompt looks like, using the outline above, write a complete first draft of this content type. Use a conversational tone that sounds like a knowledgeable friend explaining this topic. Include specific examples and data points. Avoid cliches and generic advice. Make sure each section transitions smoothly to the next. This approach produces significantly better results than generic prompts because it guides the AI toward your specific style and quality standards. The more detailed your guidance, the better the output quality. Many creators worry that using AI will make their content sound generic or lose their unique voice. This concern reflects a fundamental misunderstanding of how AI-powered content systems work. The most successful creators don't use AI to replace their voice. They use it to amplify it. The key lies in the editing process. AI generates the initial draft based on your instructions, but you shape the final product. During editing, you infuse your unique perspectives, personal stories, and specific expertise. You cut sections that don't align with your thinking, add nuance where needed, and ensure the final piece genuinely represents your viewpoint. Think of AI as a junior writer or research assistant rather than a replacement for your creativity. Just as a publications editor shapes contributed articles to maintain a consistent voice, you guide and refine AI-generated content to match your standards. This approach allows you to maintain authenticity while dramatically increasing production speed. This system creates a multiplier effect on your content creation capabilities. Tasks that previously consumed your entire day now take 30 to 60 minutes. One creator I worked with increased his content output from 2 articles per week to 3 articles per day using this approach, while actually improving audience engagement metrics. The time saved allowed him to focus more on promotion and audience building, areas where human touch remains essential. As you implement this system, you'll develop a library of effective prompts for different content types. You might create separate prompt templates for how-to guides, opinion pieces, case studies, and trend analyses. Each template captures the specific elements that make that content type successful, streamlining future creation. Over time, these templates evolve as you learn what produces the best results for your specific audience. The most sophisticated content creators take the system further by creating content clusters rather than isolated pieces. They prompt AI to generate ideas for related content that forms a cohesive body of work addressing different aspects of a central topic. This approach improves SEO performance and creates natural internal linking opportunities while establishing deeper authority on specific subjects. Another advanced technique involves customizing content for different platforms. Rather than simply repurposing the same piece across platforms, AI-powered creators prompt for platform-specific variations. They might turn a blog post into separate versions, optimized for LinkedIn, Twitter threads, email newsletters, and YouTube scripts, each tailored to the unique characteristics of that platform while maintaining consistent core messaging. The payoff from building an AI-powered content system extends beyond just creating more content. It fundamentally changes your relationship with content creation. Rather than being constrained by production capacity, you're limited only by strategic decisions about what content serves your audience best. This shift transforms how you approach audience building and business growth. With content creation largely systematized, your focus naturally shifts to the next production bottleneck: visual content. Creating professional graphics, video thumbnails, and other visual assets traditionally required specialized design skills or expensive contractors. But here too, AI tools are transforming what's possible for individual creators and small teams. Visual content automation, images, videos, and ads. What if you could create professional ads and videos without design skills or expensive contractors? In the past, this would have seemed impossible. Visual content creation has traditionally required specialized skills that most entrepreneurs don't possess. You either had to learn complex design software or hire expensive professionals to create your images, videos, and advertisements. This created a significant barrier for small businesses trying to compete with larger companies that had dedicated design teams or substantial marketing budgets. The process typically looked something like this. You'd struggle to create something yourself using tools like Canva, eventually give up and hire a freelancer, wait days or weeks for drafts, go through multiple revision cycles, and finally receive assets that might or might not perform well with your audience. This entire cycle could take weeks and cost hundreds or thousands of dollars per project. For many small businesses, this meant limiting their visual content or compromising on quality due to budget constraints. But this traditional approach is rapidly becoming obsolete. AI tools are now capable of generating professional quality visuals with minimal input from users. The technology has advanced to the point where entrepreneurs with no design experience can create compelling images, videos, and ads in minutes rather than days. These tools don't just make the process faster, they often produce results that rival or exceed what human designers create, especially for standard marketing assets. The quality of AI-generated visuals has improved dramatically over the past year. Early versions of these tools produced obviously artificial images with strange artifacts and distortions. Today's tools create polished, professional-looking assets that most viewers can't distinguish from human-created content. This quality improvement, combined with the speed and cost advantages, makes AI visual generation a game-changer for entrepreneurs. Let me share a specific technique for creating effective Facebook ad images through reverse engineering. Instead of starting from scratch, you can analyze what's already working in your industry and use AI to create similar but unique visuals. Start by identifying 5-10 competitors with successful Facebook ads. Take screenshots of their best performing ads. You can find these in Facebook's ad library. Then upload these images to ChatGPT with the prompt: Analyze these Facebook ad images and identify common visual elements, color schemes, text placement, and emotional triggers. Then generate 5 different ad concepts for my product service that incorporate these successful elements but remain unique. This reverse engineering approach short-circuits the traditional design process. Rather than guessing what might work, you're building on proven visual strategies while adding your own unique elements. Many entrepreneurs report substantially higher click-through rates using this method compared to their previous manual design efforts. The ability to rapidly test different visual approaches also allows for ongoing optimization that wouldn't be feasible with traditional design processes. Beyond static images, video content has traditionally been even more challenging to create. Professional video production typically requires cameras, lighting, actors, scripts, editing software, and technical expertise. The cost and complexity often put video marketing out of reach for small businesses, creating another advantage for larger competitors with bigger budgets. Tools like Arcades are changing this equation by generating video content with AI actors. These systems allow you to input a script, select from a library of virtual presenters, and automatically generate professional-looking video content without any filming or editing. The technology has advanced to the point where these AI actors display natural-looking facial expressions, gestures, and speech patterns that closely mimic human presenters. Similarly, platforms like icon.com generate images specifically optimized for advertising performance. Rather than creating generic visuals, these specialized tools understand the principles of effective advertising imagery, using color psychology, visual hierarchy, and attention-grabbing techniques to maximize impact. They can generate dozens of variations quickly, allowing entrepreneurs to test different approaches and identify the most effective options before investing in campaigns. The systematic process for turning text content into visual assets involves several key steps. First, identify the core message or concept you want to communicate visually. Then, create a specific prompt that describes both the practical elements, what should appear in the image, and the emotional qualities, how the image should make viewers feel. For best results, include references to style, composition, lighting, and color palette in your prompt. Generate multiple variations rather than settling for the first output. Most AI visual tools allow you to create several options from the same prompt, letting you compare approaches and select the most effective. Finally, perform minor edits or enhancements to align the generated visuals with your brand standards. This might include adding your logo, adjusting colors to match your brand palette, or making small modifications to better suit your specific needs. The difference between manually created and AI-generated visual content is striking, especially when comparing the time investment. One entrepreneur I worked with previously spent approximately 8 hours per week creating basic social media graphics and simple video content. After implementing an AI visual system, they created the same volume of content in under 90 minutes while significantly improving quality. This freed up nearly a full workday each week to focus on strategy and audience engagement. Maintaining brand consistency across AI-generated visual content requires intentional planning. Start by creating a detailed brand style guide that defines your color palette, typography, visual style, and other key elements. Then translate these guidelines into specific instructions that you include in every generation prompt. For example, use only the following hex color codes, NAM1A2B3C or D4E5F6. Apply the same modern minimalist style throughout with ample white space and geometric accents. Include our logo in the bottom right corner of every image. Some entrepreneurs take this a step further by fine-tuning AI image models on their existing brand assets. This more advanced approach teaches the AI your specific visual style, making it more likely to generate images that match your established brand identity without explicit instructions. While this requires more technical setup, it can dramatically improve consistency for businesses with well-defined visual identities. When implementing visual AI tools in your business, start by automating specific high-volume, low-complexity tasks. Social media graphics, basic product images, blog post headers, and email newsletter visuals typically offer the best initial return on investment. These assets follow predictable patterns and are needed frequently, making them ideal candidates for automation. As you become more comfortable with the technology, you can gradually move to more complex visual projects like advertisements, presentations, and video content. One entrepreneur I advised recently was spending $2,500 monthly on a social media management service, primarily creating basic posts and graphics. By implementing a systematic AI approach to visual content, they reduced this expense to under $200 in subscription costs while maintaining the same content calendar and improving engagement metrics. The ROI was immediate and substantial, freeing up resources for other marketing initiatives. With effective systems for both text and visual content in place, entrepreneurs can create complete marketing assets at unprecedented speed and quality. A blog post that previously required coordination between writers, editors, and designers can now be produced by a single person in a fraction of the time. This capability fundamentally changes what's possible for small businesses and individual creators competing in crowded markets. But creating content, even great content, is only part of building a successful business. The real power emerges when you connect these content creation systems with other business functions like lead generation, sales, customer service, and product development. In the next section, we'll explore how to build an integrated AI business system that connects these separate tools into a cohesive, efficient machine that transforms your entire operation. The integrated AI business system. What happens when you connect all these AI tools into one seamless business system? The true power of AI for entrepreneurs doesn't come from using individual tools in isolation. It emerges when you integrate them into a cohesive system that spans your entire business. This integrated approach creates something greater than the sum of its parts. Most businesses today implement AI tools separately, with no connection between them. They might use ChatGPT for content creation, Midjourney for images, and a CRM with basic automation features, but these tools don't talk to each other. They operate as separate islands of automation in an otherwise manual workflow. This fragmented approach solves individual problems, but misses the larger opportunity to transform the entire business. Without integration, businesses continue to face significant workflow bottlenecks and inefficiencies. Information gets stuck between systems. Employees waste time transferring data manually from one tool to another. Context and insights from one business function never reach others where they could provide value. These gaps in the workflow create friction points that slow everything down and prevent AI tools from delivering their full potential. To understand how integration changes everything, let's map a complete AI-powered business system following the customer journey from first touch to final delivery. The system starts with customer acquisition, where AI tools analyze your target audience, generate ad creative, and optimize campaigns. When potential customers interact with your content, AI-powered chatbots engage them, answer questions, and qualify leads based on specific criteria. As prospects move deeper into your funnel, the system automatically personalizes content based on their behavior and stated interests. Email sequences adjust dynamically based on engagement patterns. Product recommendations shift according to browsing history and purchase behavior. When customers make purchases, AI systems handle order processing, generate delivery information, and trigger customer onboarding sequences. Throughout this journey, data flows continuously between different AI tools. Your content creation system feeds into your advertising platform. Your advertising results influence your content strategy. Customer service interactions inform product development. Sales conversations shape marketing messages. This constant data exchange creates a self-improving system that gets smarter and more effective over time. The real magic happens when these tools share contextual information. When your content AI knows which topics drive the most sales, it can prioritize similar content. When your ad platform understands which customer questions indicate high purchase intent, it can adjust targeting parameters. When your customer service AI recognizes emerging product issues, it can alert your development team before problems escalate. Building this integrated system starts with identifying repeatable tasks across all business functions. Examine each area of your business: marketing, sales, operations, product development, customer service, and look for processes that follow consistent patterns. Tasks that require minimal judgment, have clear inputs and outputs, and follow logical rules are prime candidates for AI automation. In marketing, repeatable tasks include social media posting, content distribution, performance reporting, and competitive analysis. In sales, they include lead qualification, proposal generation, follow-up sequences, and objection handling. In operations, they include inventory management, quality control checks, and project status updates. In customer service, they include answering common questions, processing returns, and gathering feedback. Once you've identified these repeatable processes, map the information flows between them. What data does each process generate that could provide value elsewhere in your business? Your content creation system produces topics, keywords, and messaging that your ad platform can use. Your customer service interactions generate common questions that your content team should address. Your sales calls uncover objections that your product team needs to solve. These information flows become the connective tissue of your integrated AI system. They ensure that insights gained in one area benefit all areas. They prevent the typical organizational silos that plague many businesses, where valuable knowledge gets trapped in departments or teams rather than flowing to where it creates the most value. Now comes the practical question. Which business processes should you automate first? Start by evaluating each candidate process along 3 dimensions: time consumption, strategic importance, and complexity. The ideal initial targets are processes that consume significant time, have moderate strategic importance, and relatively low complexity. Time-consuming tasks offer the biggest immediate return on your automation investment. Every hour freed from these tasks can go toward higher value activities. Tasks with moderate strategic importance are better initial candidates than highly strategic ones, which often require more human judgment and oversight. Lower complexity tasks are easier to automate successfully, building momentum and confidence for more ambitious projects. For most small businesses, customer service automation offers an excellent starting point. Answering common questions, processing straightforward requests, and collecting customer information follow predictable patterns, but consume substantial time. Content distribution is another good candidate. Scheduling posts, repurposing content across platforms, and tracking performance can be largely automated with existing tools. As you implement these automations, maintain a consistent focus on integration rather than isolated solutions. Before adopting any new AI tool, ask, how will this connect with my existing systems? What data will flow into it? What outputs will it generate that other systems can use? This integration mindset prevents the creation of new silos and ensures each addition strengthens your overall system. The payoff from building an integrated AI business system is particularly significant for small businesses competing against larger companies. Traditionally, larger companies had insurmountable advantages in resources, personnel, and infrastructure. They could simply outspend and outstaff smaller competitors. But AI integration dramatically changes this equation, creating a more level playing field. Small businesses can now implement sophisticated automation that was previously available only to enterprises with substantial IT departments. They can operate with the efficiency and consistency of much larger organizations while maintaining the agility and personal touch that make small businesses special. This combination, enterprise-level systems with small business adaptability, creates a powerful competitive advantage. One small marketing agency I worked with provides a perfect example of this advantage in action. With just 4 full-time employees, they implemented an integrated AI system handling content creation, client reporting, campaign management, and competitive analysis. This system allowed them to take on clients that would typically work with agencies 5 times their size. They delivered comparable or superior results at lower costs while maintaining profit margins their larger competitors couldn't match. The most successful small businesses don't just automate individual tasks, they reimagine their entire operational model around AI capabilities. They ask fundamental questions. With these tools, do we need a traditional office? Do we need as many specialists, or can generalists supported by AI be more effective? Can we serve different market segments that were previously impractical? How quickly can we test new products or services? This reimagining often leads to business models that would have been impossible in the pre-AI era. Small teams manage workloads previously requiring dozens of employees. Micro-businesses operate in multiple countries simultaneously. Individual entrepreneurs launch products with marketing campaigns that previously needed full departments to execute. These new models don't just compete with traditional businesses, They make traditional approaches obsolete. However, building an effective integrated AI system requires more than just purchasing tools and connecting them. The quality of results depends critically on how well you communicate with these systems. This brings us to perhaps the most important skill for AI-powered entrepreneurs: effective prompting. The difference between mediocre and exceptional results often comes down to how well you frame your requests and instructions to AI tools. Mastering AI prompts for business results. Why do some people get amazing results from AI while others get useless outputs? I've watched entrepreneurs use the exact same AI tools with dramatically different outcomes. One person builds a thriving business with AI assistance while another dismisses the technology as overhyped. The difference rarely comes down to the tools themselves. It comes down to how people communicate with them. The quality of AI outputs depends entirely on the quality of prompts provided. This relationship is direct and unavoidable. Great prompts produce great results. Mediocre prompts yield mediocre outputs. The AI has no inherent understanding of your business goals, audience, or quality standards. It can only respond based on the information and guidance you provide. Your prompting skill directly determines the value you extract from these powerful tools. This creates a significant challenge for entrepreneurs. Bad prompts lead to poor results, wasting both time and resources. You might spend hours trying different AI tools, concluding they don't work for your business, when the real issue is how you're communicating with them. The entrepreneurs getting exceptional results aren't using different tools. They're using the same tools differently. They've mastered the art of effective prompting, turning these systems into valuable business assets rather than interesting novelties. Let's break down the anatomy of effective business prompts. Every high-performing prompt contains several key elements. First is context. Information about your business, audience, goals, and constraints that helps the AI understand the broader situation. Second is specific instruction. Clear guidance about exactly what you want created, analyzed, or explained. Third is format specification. Details about how the information should be structured and presented. Fourth is quality parameters. Explicit standards the output should meet. Here's an example of a weak prompt. Write me a marketing email. This provides no context, minimal instruction, no format guidance, and no quality parameters. The AI has no choice but to make assumptions about all these critical elements, likely producing generic, unfocused output. Now, consider this improved version. Write a marketing email announcing our new productivity software to small business owners. These customers value time savings and simplicity. The email should highlight our 7-day free trial, include 3 key benefits with specific examples, and use a friendly but professional tone. Keep it under 300 words and include a clear call to action. This prompt contains rich context, specific instructions, format guidance, and clear quality parameters, dramatically improving the likelihood of useful output. When dealing with complex business problems, traditional prompts often fall short. This is where chain of thought prompting becomes invaluable. This technique breaks complex problems into sequential steps, guiding the AI through a logical reasoning process. Rather than asking for a final answer directly, you prompt the AI to work through the problem systematically, considering different aspects and factors before reaching a conclusion. For example, instead of asking, "What's the best pricing strategy for my new product?" a chain of thought prompt might look like, "Let's determine the optimal pricing strategy for my new productivity software. First, analyze the target market of small business owners and their typical budget constraints. Second, examine competitor pricing for similar products. Third, consider our production costs and required profit margins. Fourth, evaluate different pricing models, subscription versus one-time purchase. Finally, recommend a specific pricing strategy based on this analysis with justification for your recommendation." This approach consistently produces more thorough, thoughtful responses by mimicking how human experts analyze problems. It reduces superficial answers and increases the likelihood of actionable insights. For complex business decisions involving multiple factors, chain of thought prompting often makes the difference between generic advice and valuable strategic guidance. Developing prompt templates for recurring business tasks significantly improves efficiency and consistency. Identify processes you perform repeatedly, then create standardized prompts that consistently produce the results you need. This approach transforms one-off prompting into a systematic business process. For content creation, you might develop templates for different content types: blog posts, social media updates, email newsletters, product descriptions. Each template contains the specific elements that make that content type effective, with placeholders for the variable information. Similarly, for customer service, you might create templates for handling common questions, processing returns, or gathering feedback. These templates evolve over time as you learn what works best. Start with the basic version, test it in actual business use, note any shortcomings in the results, and refine accordingly. After several iterations, you'll develop highly optimized prompts that consistently produce excellent outputs with minimal adjustment needed. Testing and refining prompts follows a straightforward methodology. Start with a clear objective. What exactly do you want the AI to produce? Create an initial prompt based on the principles we've discussed. Run it multiple times, potentially with small variations, and evaluate the outputs against your objective. Identify specific weaknesses or gaps in the results. Modify your prompt to address these issues, being as explicit as possible about the improvements needed. Test again and repeat until satisfied. This iterative refinement process might seem time-consuming, but it represents an investment rather than an expense. A well-refined prompt becomes a valuable business asset you can use repeatedly, consistently producing high-quality results that would otherwise require significant time or expense to create manually. Prompting strategies differ significantly between creative and analytical business tasks. Creative tasks like generating marketing concepts, product ideas, or content benefit from prompts that establish parameters while allowing room for unexpected connections and novel approaches. For creative work, overly restrictive prompts can limit the AI's ability to generate truly innovative outputs. Analytical tasks like financial analysis, market research, or performance evaluation require more structured prompts that clearly define the parameters, data sources, and evaluation criteria. For analytical work, precision matters more than creative latitude. Your prompts should specify exactly what information should be considered, what methodologies should be applied, and how results should be presented. Understanding this distinction helps you adjust your prompting approach based on the specific business need. The same AI tool can serve both creative and analytical functions, but how you communicate with it should shift accordingly. One entrepreneur I worked with dramatically improved their results by implementing a two-stage prompting approach. After receiving initial output, they followed up with refinement prompts like, "This is good, but could you make the following improvements?" 1. Add more specific examples from the software industry. 2. Focus more on ROI aspects. And 3. Use simpler language throughout. This dialogue-based approach allows for iterative improvement without starting over completely. The most effective AI prompting techniques combine all these elements: comprehensive context, specific instructions, appropriate format guidance, clear quality parameters, and the right approach for creative versus analytical tasks. Mastering these techniques transforms AI tools from interesting experiments into core business assets that deliver consistent, valuable results. Understanding how to communicate effectively with AI tools is becoming a fundamental business skill, as essential as email communication or presentation abilities were in previous eras. The entrepreneurs who develop this skill gain a significant competitive advantage, extracting more value from the same tools their competitors are using. However, even the most powerful AI content and tools won't build your business alone. As AI makes content creation easier for everyone, distribution and audience building become increasingly important competitive differentiators. Let's explore how the landscape is shifting and why audience building remains crucial even as AI democratizes content creation. Distribution and audience building in the AI age. If everyone has access to AI content creation, what will actually set businesses apart? This question becomes increasingly important as AI tools democratize content production. Just a few years ago, creating high-quality content at scale required significant resources: writers, designers, videographers, and editors. Today, a single entrepreneur with the right AI tools can produce similar volume and quality. This shift fundamentally changes the competitive landscape for businesses of all sizes. The democratization of content creation through AI tools presents both opportunity and challenge. On one hand, small businesses and individual creators can now produce content previously requiring entire teams. On the other hand, this increased production capacity applies to everyone, potentially leading to market saturation. When everyone can create unlimited content with minimal effort, the mere ability to create content ceases to be a competitive advantage. As content creation becomes easier, two factors grow increasingly valuable: distribution channels and authentic audience connections. Even the best content provides limited business value without effective distribution. A brilliant article, video, or podcast that reaches few people generates minimal impact. Similarly, content that reaches many people but fails to establish genuine connection rarely translates into business results. In the AI age, how and where you share content matters more than your ability to create it. Audience building remains crucial for several fundamental reasons, even as AI content creation becomes ubiquitous. First, established audiences provide immediate distribution for new content, bypassing the need to compete for attention through increasingly expensive paid channels. Second, audience trust functions as a quality filter in an environment flooded with AI-generated material. Third, direct audience relationships create business stability, independent of platform algorithm changes or trends in content formats. The most valuable business asset in this environment isn't content creation capability, but audience attention and trust. Businesses that build direct relationships with their audiences through email lists, membership programs, communities, or direct messaging channels gain significant advantages over those relying primarily on algorithm-driven distribution. These direct channels provide reliable distribution regardless of platform changes, ensuring business continuity when social media algorithms inevitably shift. Personal brand development creates another significant competitive advantage. As content creation becomes commoditized, the uniqueness of individual perspective grows more valuable. Your specific experiences, insights, and worldview cannot be replicated by AI or competitors. When audiences connect with your personal story and perspective, they develop loyalty that transcends the specific information you provide. They follow you not just for what you know, but for who you are and how you think. While some worry that AI will replace authentic human connection, the opposite appears more likely. AI tools enhance rather than replace authentic audience relationships when used effectively. By automating routine content production tasks, AI frees entrepreneurs to spend more time on activities that build genuine connections, responding to audience questions, hosting live events, participating in communities, and creating more personalized interactions. The entrepreneurs who benefit most from AI use the time it saves to deepen audience relationships rather than simply producing more content. AI enables personalization at a scale previously impossible for small businesses. Rather than sending identical content to everyone, AI tools can help tailor messages based on individual interests, behaviors, and needs. For example, an entrepreneur might create a core newsletter that AI then modifies slightly for different audience segments based on their previous engagement patterns. This approach combines the efficiency of scale with the effectiveness of personalization, creating stronger audience connections. One entrepreneur I worked with implemented an AI-powered system that tracked which topics each subscriber engaged with most frequently. The system then automatically adjusted newsletter content to emphasize those topics for each subscriber. This personalization increased open rates by 37% and click-through rates by 52% compared to their previous one-size-fits-all approach. Most importantly, it achieved these results without requiring additional time from the entrepreneur, who could focus on creating core content while AI handled personalization. Maintaining authenticity while leveraging AI requires intentional boundaries and processes. Successful entrepreneurs establish clear guidelines about which aspects of their business can be AI-assisted and which require their direct involvement. Many adopt a human-in-the-loop approach, where AI generates initial content that entrepreneurs then review, refine, and approve before publishing. This ensures that all external communication reflects their actual perspective and voice rather than generic AI outputs. The most effective approach treats AI as a research assistant and first draft creator rather than an autonomous content producer. AI excels at gathering information, identifying patterns, and producing structured content. Human entrepreneurs excel at providing unique insights, making value judgments, and establishing emotional connections. By focusing each on their respective strengths, entrepreneurs create content that combines informational depth with authentic perspective. Several specific strategies help maintain authenticity while using AI. First, reserve storytelling and personal examples for human creation, as these elements most strongly convey authentic voice. Second, always review and edit AI-generated content to ensure it accurately reflects your perspective and values. Third, be transparent with your audience about how you use AI tools, treating them as assistants rather than replacements. Fourth, regularly create some content entirely yourself to maintain your distinct voice and perspective. This balanced approach allows entrepreneurs to maintain their authentic connection with audiences while still benefiting from AI's efficiency. Rather than choosing between automation and authenticity, successful entrepreneurs blend both, using AI to handle routine aspects of content creation while focusing their personal energy on the elements that most powerfully build audience connection. The entrepreneurs gaining the biggest advantages from AI tools aren't those using them to replace human connection, but those using them to enhance it. They use AI to create more frequent touchpoints with their audience, deliver more personalized experiences, and free time for deeper engagement. This approach turns AI from a potential threat to authenticity into a powerful tool for strengthening authentic connections at scale. Looking ahead, the businesses that thrive in the AI age will likely combine technical sophistication with genuine human connection. They'll build systems that efficiently create and distribute valuable content while maintaining the authentic voice and perspective that audiences crave. They'll use AI to handle repeatable tasks while focusing human creativity and emotional intelligence on building relationships that machines cannot replicate. The landscape will likely stratify into two primary groups: commodity content producers who compete primarily on volume and price, and relationship-focused creators who command premium rates based on audience trust and connection. The former will use AI to maximize production efficiency while accepting narrower margins. The latter will use AI to enhance relationship quality while maintaining pricing power based on established audience loyalty. For entrepreneurs building businesses today, the strategic implications are clear. Invest in audience building and relationship development as your primary competitive advantage. Use AI tools to increase efficiency and output, but direct the time saved toward deepening audience connections rather than simply producing more content. Focus on building distribution channels you control directly rather than relying exclusively on algorithm-driven platforms. Above all, maintain the authentic voice and perspective that makes your content uniquely valuable in an increasingly AI-generated world. While AI brings powerful new capabilities to content creation, the fundamental principles of business success remain unchanged. Providing genuine value, building trusted relationships, and solving real problems still form the foundation of sustainable businesses. AI tools change how we execute these principles, but not their fundamental importance. The entrepreneurs who thrive will be those who leverage AI's capabilities while remaining firmly focused on the human connections that drive business growth. As we embrace the efficiency and scale that AI tools provide, we must also recognize their limitations and risks. These powerful technologies bring not only new opportunities, but also significant challenges that entrepreneurs must navigate carefully. The dark side: AI risks and ethical considerations. What happens when AI tools are used for deception rather than creation? This question becomes increasingly important as AI technology advances. The same tools that enable entrepreneurs to build businesses, create content, and automate workflows can also be used for harmful purposes. This darker side of AI requires our attention as we integrate these powerful technologies into our business operations. AI tools offer unprecedented creative power with minimal safeguards. Today's artificial intelligence can generate convincing text, images, audio, and video with little technical expertise required from users. These capabilities arrive before our legal frameworks, ethical guidelines, and security infrastructure have adequately adapted. This gap between capability and safeguards creates a significant risk landscape that entrepreneurs must navigate carefully. The tension here is obvious. The same AI systems enabling legitimate entrepreneurs can be repurposed for scams, deepfakes, and misinformation campaigns. As one industry expert named Amjad notes, these technologies can disrupt how things function because people will be unemployed in huge numbers. Even more concerning, people's credibility can be stolen by somebody, and they have no capacity to prevent it. The ability to generate undetectable deepfakes represents a particularly troubling development that undermines trust in digital communications. When examining potential misuses of AI in business contexts, several patterns emerge. Competitors might use AI to generate fake negative reviews or testimonials about your business. Scammers can create convincing AI-generated personas to establish false trust before attempting fraud. Deepfake technology enables the creation of videos showing someone saying or doing things they never did, potentially damaging reputations or manipulating stock prices. These capabilities, combined with mass automation, can amplify harmful content far beyond what was previously possible with manual efforts. Some experts suggest the potential for abuse may actually outnumber legitimate use cases. Those with malicious intent gain powerful new tools that multiply their effectiveness. For example, AI systems can be trained on an individual creator's output, then used to generate similar content that competes with the original creator. As one interviewee noted, this effectively puts original creators out of business by using their creative ideas as training data for AI systems. Even more concerning is the potential for personalized exploitation. AI can analyze an individual's digital footprint, learning their preferences, vulnerabilities, and communication patterns. This information could then be used to create highly targeted scams tailored to specific victims. As Brett, another expert interviewed, suggests, this could lead to a new form of high-tech organized crime, where AI is used to protect rackets and subjugate people. The sophistication of these attacks may exceed our current security measures. Beyond malicious uses, job displacement represents another significant concern. Certain industries and roles face greater vulnerability than others. According to Amjad, if a job is as routine as it comes, it is likely to be gone in the next couple of years. This includes positions in quality assurance, data entry, and accounting. Particularly at risk are jobs that are purely text in, text out, where someone receives information and produces some kind of text or image output. The impact of this displacement will not be distributed equally across society. According to Harvard Business Review data, women face disproportionate risk, with about 80% of working women in an at-risk job compared to just over 50% of men. Educational differences also create significant disparities. Jobs requiring only a high school diploma have an automation risk of 80%, while those requiring a bachelor's degree face a much lower risk of just 20%. Access to AI tools themselves creates another potential source of inequality. Statistics show that about 50% of Americans who have a college degree currently use AI, while the stats are significantly lower for Americans without a college degree. As one expert noted, this creates a splinter, and the crack will widen between those who can leverage AI capabilities and those who cannot. This division could further concentrate economic power among those already advantaged in our society. Business process outsourcing presents another area of concern. This sector has historically lifted millions of people out of poverty in developing nations, but these roles are particularly vulnerable to AI automation. As one interviewee observed, these jobs are all going to go as companies replace human workers with AI systems. Some of these workers are already transitioning to training AI, but this transition pathway won't accommodate everyone displaced. Implementing AI systems in business requires careful ethical consideration. While the potential for good is infinite, according to Brett, the potential for bad is 10 times greater. This asymmetry demands thoughtful approaches to AI deployment. Companies must consider not just what AI can do, but what it should do within their specific business context. This includes examining potential harms to customers, employees, and society before implementing new AI capabilities. Market forces will likely drive some positive developments in this area. AI companies generally want to create systems that are safe and beneficial so they can sell them widely. Security firms have strong incentives to develop protective measures against malicious AI users. However, as Brett points out, the market may not solve this problem without deliberate action. Responsible implementation requires intentional effort, rather than assuming market forces alone will prevent harmful outcomes. Entrepreneurs who approach AI implementation responsibly may actually gain competitive advantages. As synthetic content becomes more prevalent, authenticity is going to become the coin of the realm, and anything that can be faked or cheated is going to be devalued. Businesses that maintain transparent, authentic relationships with their audiences will stand out in an increasingly synthetic digital landscape. Some forms of human creation may become more valued precisely because they're difficult to automate. Activities like spontaneous jazz or comedy that is interactive enough that it couldn't possibly have been generated with the aid of AI are going to become prioritized. These uniquely human capabilities may form the foundation of new business models as automation transforms traditional industries. The ability to coordinate and direct AI systems effectively, what one expert called being a high agency person, will become increasingly valuable. Those who can get things done and coordinate agents and start businesses or give orders to digital armies will thrive in this new landscape. This suggests entrepreneurs should focus on developing strategic oversight capabilities rather than technical skills that AI can increasingly perform. Understanding these risks doesn't mean avoiding AI implementation. Rather, it means approaching these powerful tools with appropriate caution and ethical frameworks. Entrepreneurs should establish clear guidelines about how AI will be used in their businesses, implement appropriate safeguards, and maintain human oversight of critical decisions. They should also consider potential impacts on employees, customers, and wider society when deploying AI systems. The path forward requires balancing the tremendous opportunities AI offers with responsible implementation practices. By understanding potential risks, entrepreneurs can harness AI's benefits while minimizing its harms. This balanced approach treats AI as a powerful tool that requires careful management rather than a technological solution to be adopted uncritically. With these considerations in mind, let's turn to practical implementation steps. How do entrepreneurs begin implementing AI systems in their businesses without becoming overwhelmed by the complexity? A structured approach can help navigate this transition effectively. Implementation roadmap, your first 30 days. How do you start implementing these AI systems without getting overwhelmed? I've seen this pattern repeatedly. Entrepreneurs get excited about AI, purchase several tools, attempt to use them without a clear plan, achieve disappointing results, and then abandon the technology entirely. This implementation gap prevents many businesses from capturing the benefits we've discussed throughout this video. Many entrepreneurs get paralyzed by the complexity of AI implementation. They don't know which tools to select first, which processes to automate, or how to measure success. The technical terminology and rapidly evolving landscape create additional barriers. This uncertainty leads to analysis paralysis, researching endlessly without taking concrete action or making meaningful progress. Without a structured approach, AI implementation often fails to deliver results. Tools get purchased but sit unused. Initial experiments produce underwhelming outputs. Teams grow frustrated and revert to manual processes. The potential efficiency gains never materialize, and the investment of both money and time yields minimal returns. This pattern creates skepticism about AI's practical value for business. To bridge this gap between potential and results, you need a systematic roadmap. Let me present a 30-day implementation plan specifically designed for small businesses and solopreneurs. This structured approach breaks the process into manageable weekly chunks, ensuring you make consistent progress without becoming overwhelmed. Week 1 focuses on tool selection and basic prompt training. Start by identifying a single business function where AI could create immediate value. For most businesses, content creation or customer service represent excellent starting points since they involve repeatable tasks that consume significant time. Rather than purchasing multiple tools, select just one primary AI platform. ChatGPT Pro provides the most versatile foundation for most businesses. Spend several hours learning the fundamentals of effective prompting. Create a document with prompt templates for 3 to 5 specific tasks you perform regularly. For example, if you're focusing on content creation, Develop templates for generating blog outlines, social media posts, and email newsletters. Practice using these templates and refine them based on the results. This focused approach prevents the common mistake of trying to use AI tools without really understanding how they work. One critical step many entrepreneurs skip: identify specific metrics to track from the beginning. If you're implementing AI for content creation, these might include time saved per piece, content production volume, and engagement metrics. For customer service, track response time, satisfaction scores, and volume of queries handled. These baseline measurements allow you to quantify improvements later. Week 2 involves process mapping and identifying automation opportunities. Create comprehensive maps of your current workflows for the business function you selected. Document every step, including who performs each task, how long it takes, and what tools or resources they use. This detailed mapping often reveals inefficiencies you weren't previously aware of. Next, identify repetitive tasks within these workflows. Look specifically for processes that follow consistent patterns, require minimal judgment, and consume significant time. As one expert noted, mapping out all the boring, repetitive tasks helps you pinpoint areas where AI tools can deliver immediate value. Mark these tasks as primary automation candidates. For each candidate task, estimate the potential return on investment. Consider both time savings and quality improvements. Tasks that consume substantial time and follow predictable patterns typically offer the highest initial returns. Prioritize these for your first implementation phase rather than attempting to automate everything simultaneously. Week 3 focuses on implementation and testing of your first AI workflows. Begin with a single process that offers clear value and moderate complexity. Create detailed documentation of how the AI tool integrates into your workflow, including specific prompts, quality control steps, and how outputs move to the next stage of your process. Implement this workflow and test it extensively. Run parallel processes, completing tasks both manually and with AI assistance to compare outputs and identify gaps or weaknesses. Use A/B testing with different prompt structures to determine which approaches produce the best results. Refine your process documentation based on these findings. As you test, pay particular attention to quality control mechanisms. Determine checkpoints where human review remains essential and establish clear criteria for acceptable outputs. Most successful AI implementations maintain human oversight of final deliverables while automating intermediate steps in the workflow. Week 4 involves measurement, refinement, and expansion of your AI system. Compare your current performance metrics with the baseline measurements established in Week 1. Quantify the improvements in both efficiency and quality. This concrete data helps justify continued investment in AI tools and identifies areas for further optimization. Based on these measurements, refine your AI workflows to address any weaknesses or limitations, improve prompt templates, adjust quality control mechanisms, and streamline the transitions between AI and human tasks. These refinements often produce substantial improvements in system performance. With your first workflow operating efficiently, identify the next process for automation. Follow the same methodical approach, mapping the current process, creating specific prompts, implementing and testing the workflow, then measuring results. This systematic expansion prevents the common mistake of trying to automate too many processes simultaneously. This structured 30-day approach addresses the primary reasons AI implementations fail. Rather than getting overwhelmed by possibilities, you focus on specific high-value processes. Instead of expecting instant mastery, you systematically learn effective prompting techniques. By measuring concrete results, you maintain motivation through visible progress. The founder's direct involvement proves critical in this process. As one expert emphasized, founders should not simply tell teams to look into AI without first understanding the tools themselves. Your personal experience with these tools allows you to provide informed guidance to your team and set realistic expectations about capabilities and limitations. For some businesses, external support may prove valuable during implementation. Services that help businesses use AI properly can diagnose areas where AI can be used, set up the AI tools, and provide ongoing support. While not essential, this expertise can accelerate your learning curve and help avoid common implementation pitfalls. the potential impact of successful implementation can be substantial. Consider the case of Claire, which implemented AI customer service agents handling 2.3 million chats per month, which is equal to having to hire 700 full-time people. While your initial results will be more modest, they can still transform specific business functions and create competitive advantages. Another practical example comes from mergers and acquisitions, where AI implementation allows systems to transcribe conversations, turn them into letters of intent, and generate press releases and legal documents. This example demonstrates how AI can streamline even complex, high-value business processes when implemented systematically. The key throughout this implementation process is maintaining a consistent focus on business outcomes rather than technology for its own sake. Each automation should solve specific problems, eliminate particular inefficiencies, or create measurable advantages. This outcome-oriented approach ensures your AI implementation delivers tangible business value rather than becoming a distraction. As you complete this initial 30-day implementation, you'll have established not just a functioning AI workflow, but also a repeatable process for expanding your AI capabilities. This foundation allows you to systematically transform additional business functions over time, creating an increasingly comprehensive AI-powered business system. This systematic implementation approach connects directly to our broader discussion of how AI is transforming entrepreneurship. The businesses gaining the biggest advantages aren't necessarily those with the most advanced technology or biggest budgets. They're the ones implementing AI effectively within their specific business context. Let's explore how these implementation efforts contribute to an entirely new model of entrepreneurship. The AI-powered future of entrepreneurship. Are we witnessing the birth of an entirely new form of entrepreneurship? I believe we are. The business models that dominated the past century are undergoing fundamental transformation as AI systems become more capable. The solo entrepreneur with a laptop now wields capabilities previously requiring entire departments. Small teams operate with the efficiency of organizations 10 times their size. These aren't minor improvements to business operations, they represent an entirely new approach to building and scaling companies. Traditional entrepreneurship follows familiar patterns. You identify a market opportunity, create a product or service, build operational systems, then gradually hire specialists as you grow. This model worked for decades because human capability determined business capacity. More customers required more employees. Scaling meant adding headcount in predictable ratios. The limitation was always human bandwidth and management complexity. The AI revolution fundamentally changes this equation. Those who adapt to AI systems will thrive while others struggle to compete. This isn't speculation, it's already happening. Companies implementing effective AI systems consistently outperform those relying on traditional approaches. The productivity gap grows wider each month as AI capabilities improve and implementation knowledge spreads. This pattern will continue, with the advantage compounding over time for early adopters. Looking ahead, several key predictions emerge about how AI will transform entrepreneurship. First, company structures will flatten significantly. Middle management layers traditionally coordinating information flow become less necessary when AI systems can process, organize, and distribute information automatically. Organizations will consist of small strategic teams directing AI systems rather than large hierarchical structures. Second, the speed of business cycles will increase dramatically. Products move from concept to market in days instead of months. Customer feedback gets implemented immediately rather than waiting for quarterly updates. Market testing happens continuously through automated systems rather than through occasional campaigns. This acceleration creates advantages for businesses that can adapt quickly while challenging those with slower decision processes. Third, the cost structure of businesses will shift substantially. Fixed costs decrease as AI replaces functions previously requiring full-time employees. Variable costs increase as businesses pay for AI services based on usage. This shift improves cash flow for early-stage companies and reduces risk by aligning expenses more directly with revenue. It also enables more businesses to reach profitability with smaller customer bases. The definition of business skills is shifting from execution to system design. Previously, entrepreneurial success depended heavily on execution skills, being good at performing or directly managing specific business functions. The entrepreneur needed to excel at sales, marketing, product development, or operations, While these skills remain valuable, a new set of capabilities takes precedence: the ability to design, implement, and optimize AI-powered systems. This shift requires entrepreneurs to think differently about their businesses. Rather than asking, how do I perform this function better? The key question becomes, how do I design a system that performs this function optimally? This perspective treats the business as a collection of interconnected workflows rather than separate departments or roles. The entrepreneur becomes an architect designing how information and processes flow through AI-powered systems. Continuous learning becomes essential in this rapidly evolving landscape. The half-life of business knowledge shrinks dramatically as new AI capabilities emerge weekly rather than annually. What worked last year or even last month may be obsolete today. As one expert noted, the ability to think on your feet and pivot as things change is the only game in town. Entrepreneurs must constantly experiment with new tools, adapt to changing capabilities, and refine their systems based on results. This learning requirement extends beyond technical knowledge. Entrepreneurs need to understand both AI capabilities and human psychology. They need to recognize which functions AI handles well and which require human judgment or creativity. They need to identify when automation improves customer experience and when it creates frustration. This balanced understanding enables the creation of systems that leverage technology appropriately rather than applying it indiscriminately. The entrepreneur's role evolves from doer to system architect. Rather than personally performing critical business functions or managing others who perform them, entrepreneurs increasingly design systems that execute these functions automatically. They identify repeatable processes, create workflows connecting different AI tools, establish quality control mechanisms, and continuously optimize performance. Their value comes from system design rather than direct execution. This shift resembles what happened when entrepreneurs moved from craftsman to factory owner during the Industrial Revolution. The craftsman created value through personal skill and direct creation. The factory owner created value by designing production systems and workflows. Today's AI-powered entrepreneur similarly creates value through system design rather than personal execution of business functions. The potential for wealth creation in this environment is massive but unevenly distributed. As one expert observed, the best entrepreneurs who can leverage AI agents could be 1,000 times better than someone who doesn't have the grit, skill, or ambition. This creates a world where there is massive access to opportunity, but only those who seize it will thrive. The tools are widely available, but the knowledge and discipline to implement them effectively remain scarce. Why does the current moment represent an unprecedented opportunity? Because we're still in the early stages of this transformation. The entrepreneurs implementing AI systems today gain compounding advantages that become increasingly difficult for competitors to overcome. They develop institutional knowledge about effective implementation while building systems that continuously improve. These early movers establish positions that strengthen over time rather than eroding. This opportunity window resembles previous technological revolutions, but with accelerated timelines. The entrepreneurs who established e-commerce businesses in the late 1990s or mobile applications in the early 2010s gained advantages that persisted for years. Today's AI implementation knowledge represents similar positional value, but the window for establishing these advantages may close more quickly as adoption accelerates. The fundamental nature of business competition is changing. Success increasingly depends on building effective systems rather than performing individual functions well. The entrepreneur who masters AI implementation can compete effectively against much larger organizations with greater resources. Small teams can serve global markets, address complex problems, and deliver personalized experiences at scales previously requiring massive organizations. This transformation changes what it means to start and scale a business. Starting requires different skills, system design rather than function execution. Scaling follows different patterns, adding AI capabilities rather than headcount. Success comes from different sources, systematic leverage rather than linear growth. These changes create both opportunities and challenges for entrepreneurs navigating this new landscape. The businesses that thrive in this environment will combine AI systems with uniquely human capabilities. They'll use technology to handle repeatable processes while focusing human creativity and judgment where they create the most value. They'll build organizations that leverage both technological and human strengths rather than attempting to replace either completely. This balanced approach creates sustainable, competitive advantages that neither pure technology nor pure human effort can match. As we approach the conclusion of our exploration, it's clear that entrepreneurship is undergoing profound transformation. The capabilities, economics, and competitive dynamics have fundamentally changed. The entrepreneurs who recognize and adapt to these changes gain unprecedented advantages, while those who cling to traditional approaches face increasing challenges. The choice between these paths grows more consequential each day as the capabilities gap widens between AI-powered and traditional businesses. The gap between AI-powered entrepreneurs and traditional businesses grows wider every day. Those using systematic AI approaches outperform competitors still relying on manual methods. As one expert noted, the difference between success and failure isn't just having tools but mastering them. These systems cost a fraction of traditional business expenses. For $200 monthly, ChatGPT Pro can replace functions that previously required $5,000, $15,000 monthly for an employee. If you know how to set up the machine, if you know how to set up the factory, then all you have to do is open the door at 9 a.m. and keep the lights on. Start with one system, build methodically. The future belongs to system builders.